Hi there and welcome. Hope you're doing good. On that note, let's start today's session, and our topic of interest today is our first conditional. All right. So it's one of the most useful English tools, aka known as the first conditional, and that is the topic of identity today. All right. This is the grammar we use when we talk about real future situations and not facts. Okay, let's keep that in mind. That's for zero conditionals. Okay, so it deals with real future situations, not imagination, not facts, but only when things can genuinely happen. So anytime you're planning or you're looking at warning someone, making a promise, or talking about future results, this is the structure you need. Again, to reinforce, what does this particular tool help you to do? It helps you to talk about real future possibilities. Okay, keep that in mind and their likely results. So, when it comes to real life situations, you might want to use this particular grammatical tool when you're talking about plans and decisions, warnings, promises, offers, advice or advices, and also you're kind of looking at using this tool when you're talking about future events based on certain conditions. So the whole idea is to connect a real condition to a real possible future result. Easy to understand, right? Now let's look at another topic of use. It's when to use it, or the rule in regards to when to use it. So when the situation is possible in the near future, okay, and the result depends upon the condition. So we are not guessing randomly, we are saying if this happens then this will follow. Only then you're looking at using your first conditional. All right, so what is it again? When do we use it? We use it when the situation is possible in the future. Okay, now the result depends on the condition, and you're talking about real life, not imagination, or you're not talking about any facts as well. And you are predicting a likely outcome, in the sense you are predicting a result. You know what is the result if something happens. So that point of time you're going to look at using first conditional as your grammatical tool. Now let's look at common use areas. Where are you going to use them? You're going to use them when you're looking at future plans, again, advice, warnings, promises, and decisions. I'm reinforcing this for your deeper understanding. Okay, so when are you going to use them? You are going to use this particular structure or this grammatical tool that is also known as first conditional when you are looking at using, I'm sorry, when you're looking at uh, circumstances which refer to future plans, advices, giving warnings, promises, or decisions also. Now, another important point to understand is when not to use it, really. Okay. So, when are you not going to use it? You're not going to use it if it's for facts. Facts are always in regards with zero conditional only. And do not use it for imaginary situation. That is for second conditional. We are going to look at that in the next in the next upcoming session or the class. Okay, so do not use it for imaginary situations. Very quickly, a shortcut question you're going to ask yourself is this real future possibility? What, in the sense, whatever is happening around you, is that going to actually occur in the future? Is there a possibility? You're going to ask that question to yourself. Now, if the answer is yes, then you're at the right track, and you're going to look at using first conditional as your tool. Now let's look at the third section for today in regards with meaning first and not form first. So before grammar, understand the meaning of first conditional. What does it mean? It means if this happens first, if this happens, okay, that will take place. Okay. Now, if this happens, that will happen. It's logical, it's practical, and it's future focused. What am I saying? It's logical, it's practical. Overall, it is focusing only on one thing, and that is the future possibility. All right. And secondly, we need to keep in mind that this result is likely to happen. Okay, whatever is kind of happening now, there is a certain result that pretty much cannot change, and it is going to happen. Only then you are looking at using first conditional. This is a future possibility, or if there is a situation where there is a future possibility and not a fact. All right, it should not be a fact. If it's a fact, then it's a zero conditional. Okay, so a mini example for you is, if you study hard, you will pass. So what's happening here? There is this person who is saying that if you study hard and your result is possibly going to happen, that is, in future it might take place. That is, if you study hard now, you will pass in the future. That's all. That's as easy as it gets. Okay. So you are not stating a fact, you're not imagining a dream, but you are kind of really talking about a real possibility that will occur in the future. Only then you're looking at using your first conditional. Let's look at the build a form or build the sentence form. In other words, the formula for this particular conditional. Okay. So the condition part uses present tense. Remember that. Okay. Present tense, simple present. And the result part will use this word, that is will, and your verb is in the base form. Okay. You can do a a simple activity here, that is nothing but just read this aloud. Read the sentence form, I'm sorry, read the formula aloud by pausing the video. What happens by that is that you will get ample amount of practice within the lesson itself, and there is a sense of connect between you and me, wherein I'm literally not able to see you, however I'm trying to get through you through my voice. So what I really want you to do is pause and read this formula aloud. If plus simple present, then followed by will, and your verb is in the base form. This is your sentence structure when you're looking at building a sentence with the help of first conditional. Let's look at some examples. If it rains tomorrow, if it rains tomorrow, okay, if it rains tomorrow, we will cancel the picnic. Cancel is in the base form, okay, base form. So I hope I'm clear. If plus simple present and followed by will plus base verb. So if it rains, again simple present. If it rains tomorrow, we will. What's happening? If it rains tomorrow, we will cancel the picnic. If you call me, I will help you. So there is a prominent use of this auxiliary verb, that is will. Correct? Now you can also do one tiny little adjustment here. That is, you can always reverse the whole thing. That is, if we cancel the picnic, I'm sorry, we will cancel the picnic if it rains tomorrow, right? A pretty basic sentence also. Many a times even we use it, like to cancel the plans. What do we say to our friends if the weather is really cloudy? We would just go up and say that, you know what, we will cancel the picnic if it rains tomorrow. All right, let's just not go out. Correct. Now that, or those kind of sentences for you, my friends, are known as conditionals. Okay. Now, with models, what happens with the use of models is often your sentences sound softer. So, for example, if you study hard, you might pass. If you hurry, you can catch the bus. Remember that use of models is also directly linked to sounding polite. Okay, I also told you in one of my classes, I think it was in the 50-day spoken English course that is also going free on YouTube, given by GKPro Academy. You can actually catch those videos as well. And in one of those videos, in one of those lessons, I clearly mentioned the use of models and how exactly they help you to sound softer at the end of the day. Okay, so that's what I'm saying here. So if you use models like can, could, might, should, all these are good words. Like, it helps you to sound polite. So if you study hard, you might pass. If you hurry, you can catch the bus. Okay, very quickly, diving into the three core patterns for today. The first pattern deals with plans. Okay, how would you articulate or curate a sentence with the help of this builder form? Okay, when there is a certain plan in your mind, right? Let's look at it. If we leave early, we will catch the train, right? If we leave early, we will catch the train. It is satisfying this rule, right? If you can see, it is pretty much satisfying this rule, this sentence. Any of the sentence really will go ahead and fit directly into this formula. All right. If it's sunny, we will go to the beach. When you have to give warnings or advice, pattern 2, you would sound like this. If you don't save your work, you will lose it. It's an advice, right? If you don't save your work, you will lose it. See the prominent use of will? Okay. This is again, if you look at the formula, there is our will here. Okay, so if you study now, you'll have free time later. Again, an advice. Okay, so what I can tell you to do here is pause the video and make a warning for yourself. Okay, construct a warning. Construct a warning with the help of the builder form. That is this. All right, can you do that, guys? Can you do that? I've not got the warning example on the screen for you guys today. What best you can do is go ahead and pause the video and try to construct one on your own, and let's see how it goes, right? But follow the structure. That's it. Let's look at the third pattern in reference with promises and offers. If you need help, I'll be there. Wow, so beautiful. I hope someone can tell me that. Okay, if you need help, I will be there. In the kitchen, that is. Yeah, okay, let's go on. Now, the next one is if you call me, I'll explain everything. Again, promises and offers. Okay, this is also a certain pattern where we need to keep our eyes open and try to understand there is a direct relation to our, the formula that I just spoke about. If plus simple present, will plus base verb. Okay, wherever you can see, you will just find the base verb only. All right, great. Now let's look at some examples for today. Okay, very important to understand how these examples can be used in our daily life as well. Listen to how natural this sounds in daily life. Firstly, if I say, if you don't sleep, you'll feel tired. Very fluent, very easy, right, to use. If you drink too much coffee, you won't sleep well. Okay, you will not sleep well. All right, you will not sleep well. Now, work and school. If they arrive on time, we will start the meeting. If you finish your homework, I will help you. I'll is nothing but I will. Travel or social. If traffic is heavy, we will take another route. If we do not hurry, we may miss the bus. Right? So these are the examples for you in reference with our first conditional for today. All right. Now let's quickly look at the contrast corner. That is, to understand a pretty much an important difference now. Okay, the difference between a zero conditional and the first conditional is, okay, zero conditional always deals with facts or whatever we speak will be always true. Okay, no one can change that universal fact. All right, like when water is heated at 100 degrees Celsius, it actually boils, right? It boils, it does not freeze. So that's a universal fact. And also to keep in mind that no one can debate on that particular point. So that is a zero conditional. And the sentence structure, I spoke about it in the previous video or the previous lesson. You can go and catch that. Now, the first conditional, it can be a bit confusing. However, with a lot of practice, you will understand the possibility of not going wrong here. Okay. So, the first conditional refers to what? Real future possibility. Okay. That's all. That's all is the basic difference between these two conditionals. Now, an example contrast for you to understand it on a better level is, for example, if I say, if you mix red and blue, you'll get purple. Can you change this fact? Okay, can I say that if I mix I'm sorry, if you mix red and blue, am I going to get let me say green? No, that's not a fact. And I will not get green. Still, after if I mix red and blue, in the form of paints, I'm just going to get purple itself. So that's a fact that I pretty much cannot change as a human being. That is a zero conditional for you. Okay, now first conditional means that if I say if it rains tomorrow, we will cancel the picnic. That's a future possibility. What is it? It's a future possibility. Probably I might not cancel it as well, but there is a possibility that it might rain and I will cancel the picnic, or we will cancel the picnic. So how is the sentence structure here? You're just going to say that if it rains tomorrow, we are just thinking it might rain tomorrow, we will cancel the picnic. Okay, that's how it is done. Now let's quickly look at something extra for you. Okay, so just to kind of tell you, a very interesting line is that English adds flexibility, guys. Flexibility means what? You can play with many of the words and many of the grammatical tools and make your own sentences sound interesting at the same time. Okay, instead of will, as I told you, you can use words like might, may, can, should. Okay, to do what? Again, the same thing, to sound polite. This changes the certainty from strong to possible or advisory. What do I mean by that? Let's look at some examples. If you exercise, you may lose weight. What's happening here? What's happening? I'm changing the certainty. Okay, I'm not telling that if you exercise you will lose weight. I'm kind of stating here that if you exercise you may lose weight, because I really don't know that is the person only exercising, or probably he's going and eating double after that, or he or she might not lose weight. So in order to use these particular sentences, or when you're looking at using models, you are not giving any certain conditions. The certainty changes. Okay, the certainty changes. Now if I say if she studies more, she might improve, I am not going to say that she's definitely going to improve. Why? Because my models are changing the level of this particular word here. All right, the models, the use of models is changing the particular of certainty here. All right, so if you hurry you can catch the bus. If you see him you should tell him. Okay, so these are again on something like people are giving you advices, so this is on that front. Okay, till here you can see that there is a level of certainty. Certainty is changing. However, the last two sentences are in reference to someone giving you an advice. Okay, so a big rule: never use will in the part. Okay, in the part where there is a presence of if. For example, what did I say? Never use will in the part where if exists. That's one of the common mistakes people do. For example, if you will come early, I will help you. Never use will with this. Use this in the second part. Okay, something like this. You see, if you come early, I will help you. Don't use will two times. The second, kind of the common mistake is if I study, I would pass. Okay, if I would study, if I study I would pass. Now, just to sound positive also, you might have to want to go with will when you're doing something hard as studying, right? If I study I will pass. All right, never use will in the if clause. Great, let's quickly look at a micro conversation. This is how normal people talk with this tense, I mean with this particular grammatical tool. Okay, asking about situations and giving likely results. Likely results. I'm saying future possibilities, not something where I'm definitely saying that this is going to happen. It's not a fact. Please try to understand when it is not a fact, it is first conditional. When you are going going on, with that kind of a concept where you're talking about facts or universal facts, it's a zero conditional. So a micro conversation may pretty much sound like this. Person A, what will we do if it rains tomorrow? The person B says, nothing much. We will stay inside. Okay. What happens if you don't save your work? I will lose it. Okay, it's just a combination of the builder form wherein this come if it rains tomorrow, we will stay inside, right? If it rains tomorrow, we will stay inside. If you don't save your work, you will lose it. Okay, that is the builder form, right? It is if you can look at this here quickly. See if, present simple, and will, and your base verb. All right. So that's what is given in the form of micro conversation. Great. Again, do the same thing. Like how I just want to give you this, advice again and again that you really need to pause the video and read these sentences aloud. A, a practice ladder for you. Practice ladder in the sense a guided practice session within the lesson that I'm teaching you. All right, or I'm sharing with you, in fact. So just go ahead and fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. Okay, and do the needful, guys. This is what is really mandatory and will help you on the long run, trust me. Let's go on and try to see what. Yes, we are going to talk about the speaking part, wherein you are just going to kind of say three future plans using the if clause. Okay, what are we looking at? Complete the sentences and then speak your own future plans using if. All right. Complete these sentences, then speak your own future plans. Speak about your own future plans using if, but follow this structure. Okay. Follow this structure. All right, great. So, just to give you a quick recap, first conditional deals with real future possibility. Okay, the condition is in the present tense, and the result is probably a future possibility. Now, before I end the class, a mini call to action for you guys. Write one future sentence using if followed by something, whatever you want to do, and then I will, whatever that feels right that you want to fill in into this particular blank. All right. So again, let me just tell you the importance of practice. Okay, always practice all the topics that we are pretty much discussing here at GKPro Academy. Now if you're learning with us on YouTube, guys, this lesson is a part of a free grammar series. Okay, if you want guided practice and step-by-step confidence building, you can always join us through the free course link in the description. Start free, continue only when you feel ready. Do not forget to check out the link in the description, guys, to explore more and keep learning. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Have a nice day ahead.